So, I'm happy that you guys are having fun. I'm happy that we're back and we're energized. I'm happy that the room is full. So, one more time, please give yourselves a round of applause for being here today. You truly are making this conference worth even being here for all of us. And we still have 1 minute and 37 seconds. I like how I've always got some more time. So, our next panel, we actually have a panel that's coming up, and this one is on Bitcoin in the heart of Africa, circular economy leads.
Yeah, please, can we do the woo better? Okay, good job, good job. Can we kindly have the seats come in? We have 7 panelists. So thank you very much, ushers. Thank you very much. Our first speaker coming to join us on stage is a dear friend of mine. She is the Shara. Please help me welcome to the stage Miss Rosalind. Oh, there you are, Miss Rosalind. Please come to the stage.
Also, help us welcome Susan Kibicha from the Core.
Our core MC,
The missing one.
the missing one. He is part of this panel. Mitch, welcome to the stage.
And then I'd like to bring up Evelyn from Bitcoin Babies. One of my favorite things in Bitcoin.
Why are you selfish with the claps?
Yes. They don't know who they are clapping
They
for.
don't know who they are clapping for.
That's
Okay,
why.
please. This is Evelyn from Bitcoin Babies. Please appreciate her
Please, one more.
time.
There we go.
Then we do have Afan Sobila, all the way from Kampala. Afan. Is Kampala in the building?
Okay.
there we
There
go.
he comes. There he comes.
Oh, yes, Afan. Welcome, Afan, to the stage, ladies and gentlemen.
And then from Bitcoin Arusha, please help me welcome Seth Saga.
Tanzania. Oh, a round of applause for him. Tanzanians are not in a hurry for anything, guys. Then we have, last but not least, the moderator of this panel. We have Miss Stacy. Stacy from Beat Savers. Stacy, this is your panel. Come have fun. I hope you guys are ready. Keep it short and sweet.
The chair's coming. The chair's coming. Oh, you want to sit there?
Okay.
They don't have mics. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah, so my name is Stacy Cueto. I'm the programs manager at Beat Savers Edu Hub, and I'll be a moderator for the day. Our conversation for today is based on circular economies and how we have made Bitcoin a lifestyle, not just another currency, not just another digital currency. So be prepared to have a beautiful conversation, an engaging conversation, and get to learn how the communities in East Africa are using Bitcoin in their daily lives. So allow me just, okay, my panel has already been introduced. So I believe we can just go direct into our conversation of the day. So my first question to my first panelist, that is Evelyn Masharia, representing Bitcoin Babies. How does the journey from Bitcoin as a technology to Bitcoin as a lifestyle look within the Bitcoin Babies perspective?
My name is Hello. My name is Eve from Bitcoin Babies. I'm the program manager Bitcoin Babies. At Bitcoin Babies, we're teaching mothers to be sovereign. So for us, it starts with education and curiosity. Then as moms, we teach them about Bitcoin first and how to implement it in our circular economy. Now then later they practice it with the circular economy. Yeah, that's
So, from your conversation, I've gotten that you work with moms and women. So, perhaps if you could just paint a picture of what a normal day looks like, or how do activities run in Bitcoin Babies?
So at Bitcoin Babies, we teach moms every Sunday. So after the lesson, we give them sats, whereby these sats they use it to shop in our merchants. Also, we have a curriculum for the whole year where it involves teaching about Bitcoin. So going to the ground, they implement what they are taught in the class.
Oh, that's amazing. And on the same conversation of adopting Bitcoin, making Bitcoin more of a lifestyle rather than a technology, I would shoot the same question to Mitch from Afribit Kibera. Could you just tell us how you do it in Kibera?
1, 2. All right. I am Mitch, or Mitches Juma from Afribit Kibra. So what I'll say based on how Bitcoin works as a lifestyle compared than technology, Bitcoin need to be shown to the people based on how it works. It's good that we have the tech people, the developers, but without people knowing how it works, it means that whatever the techs are trying to develop, it's like of no value, because you need like to push for the usage that will give us now the adoption of how it works. So for me, I'll say like Bitcoin, how it works back in our community, it's very simple. Our focus is based on the underserved communities, whereby you don't need a KYC for you to be in a position like to hold or rather have your money in whatever way you want it. So Afribit is there like to solve that. Most of us believe like Kibra is not somewhere that Bitcoin is supposed to be used. That is a wrong mentality. Most of you have visited Kibra, you've seen it in practical, and most people also believe like Kibra is a place whereby something good cannot come out of it. I'll say this. Today, from where we are right now here, this is Kibra constituency. From where we are here. So if we have this kind of setup here in Kibra, why is it hard like to have now people who are using Bitcoin if it's always said that Bitcoin is for the elite? That's a wrong perception. If you come to Kibra, Mama Mboga uses Bitcoin on a daily life. Boda people uses Bitcoin on their daily lives based on technology that the developers have already come with. For example, we have an app like Tando. It's easier for Mama Mboga to accept Bitcoin as a mode of payment, because at the end of the day, if he's going back to restock a goods, he will directly use Tando to the other merchant who doesn't know like how Bitcoin operates. So you see, that's a developer, a technician who developed an app called Tando and introduced it to the people. And now he has combined it with the adaption and how it's supposed to work. We have so many other tech people who have developed like quite good things in the Bitcoin space. But the reason why they're not in usage is because they take more of their time like to do the tech and developing part, but they forget like now to take it to the right people, or rather they are the right users who will make like their apps to be known. And these people are just within our communities, not only Kibra, but any other community that Bitcoin runs or rather function as money. We've been told here with several speakers, Bitcoin is freedom. Bitcoin is money. If you come back at our community, we normally tell our people, Bitcoin ni chapa. Chapa ni sheng. Sheng ya chapa inamaanisha nini? What do I mean? Pesa. Pesa, we all know what is pesa, since you're already familiar with what is M-Pesa. So That's how we normally like interact with our people, and we've made it so simple for them to understand like the developing part of the techs and the Bitcoin now as a lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mitch. That was really beautiful. Um, and I know that Afribit Kibera has been around for a while. I'm not really sure of the time, but it's 4 to 5 years. And that time you have been working with Afribit Kibera, building a circular economy in Kibra. Could you just mention one impact that Bitcoin has brought to the community? Just one.
1, 2. Okay. So when we started, a lot of people were very skeptical about Bitcoin. But if you visit our community today, they are like, I want to be a Bitcoiner. Why? Because they've first of all seen the impact that Bitcoin has so far done in our community, even without us, me, Mitch, or Mr. Ronnie, or Madam Sarah, or anybody who is related with our circular economy back at home, like approaching them in person. So nowadays, we don't approach the merchants, or rather people who want to be aligned with Bitcoin as a mode of payment to their businesses. They approach us based on what they've seen. I personally, Bitcoin has really changed and impacted my life. It can be over a short period, 3 or 4 years, but it has really, really done a lot to me. So that's what drives like other people like to come and say, I want to be part of the journey. And we as Afribit, if you approach us and say you want to be part of the journey, who are we not to welcome you? Because at the end of the day, we want the adaptation to grow both day and night and to become huge as much as possible. Yes.
Wow. A round of applause for Mitch. Thank you. So when it comes to building circular economies, it actually takes a lot of work, a lot of commitment, and a lot of reassurance that whatever you're building will finally come to pay off. So my question to Roslyn on the same is, what is the biggest friction point when a local merchant tries to stay circular? That is, earning, spending, and using Bitcoin.
Hi everyone.
Mhm.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have run Bitbiashara for 3 years, and I would say the biggest friction is value leakage. Yeah. Stay with me. So when you have people using Bitcoin and they buy to these same merchants who are accepting Bitcoin, the suppliers of these merchants, they don't accept Bitcoin. We have not gotten there yet. So basically what we do, we use a very useful tool in our community called Tando. I have called it a very useful tool because it is one of the tools that assure the merchants that once I receive this value in form of Bitcoin, I can actually use it even where there is no Bitcoin. And for that, they are very easy to come on board. So where is the leakage, if you ask? It is the fact that this person will use fiat to buy something. It is from Bitcoin, but it will get there in form of fiat. How do we get this value back into the system? How do we get this back into the system? There is still some value leakage because the people or the tools that we are using now to get this value back into the system, they have a fee. And if you ask me, these same tools, they need to survive. So they need this small fee that they are charging. They need it. We understand that. What if everyone accepted Bitcoin? That fee would not be there. And I understand the same tools would not exist. But we are in the building phase. So this has to be there. So the biggest friction right now, it is value leakage because we are trying to solve the problem of value leakage through fees, but it is still happening at the end of the day. That is one of the friction. The next one is the fact that these merchants, they don't have so many users. The users are just like 1%. In our community, we may have like 30 to 30 something users who are using Bitcoin, but this same merchant is doing like 20 transactions in a day, but only 5 are captured in Bitcoin. The rest 15, they are captured in fiat. And even the bills they pay, only maybe 2 or 3 they can pay in Bitcoin. The rest of them, they happen in fiat. That's the friction, value leakage. So we need more people to come on board. We need more people to start getting this into the merchants, wherever you are, your communities. Shout as loud as you can. Onboard a merchant or two where you are. Maybe we can all meet at the center and say, we have now a circular economy in the whole world. It is not only in Tena Estate, it is not only in Kibera, it is not only in Bitcoin Babies, it is everywhere, and we can actually live without the leakage of the value. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roslyn. And from Evelyn, Roslyn to Mitch, one thing I've gotten is that building a circular economy takes a lot and requires a lot. So on the aspect of building, we also know that for an economy to work or for whatever you're building to properly work, you need an infrastructure. And that's why I'll throw this question to Susan. What technical tools are needed to make a circular economy foolproof for non-technical users?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Susan, and I'm honored to represent Bitcoin Githurai. I'm the community lead, and the tools that are needed are communities need tools that are user-friendly, reliable, and accessible. So when we talk about tools that are needed, we look at the simplest tools for anyone. It doesn't matter the age. So we can look at things like Bitcoin wallets, like technical. Oh my God, I'm sorry. So to make these oh my God, I'm sorry. So communities need simple tools that are user-friendly and that are simple to use, that also focus on merchant infrastructure, things like payment tracking, and most importantly, technologies need to be more seamless, running in the background, because no, sorry, this is the first time I'm talking to a crowd. I think my God. I'm so nervous and oh my God. So yeah, so I think it has to be simple for any user to use. So we have to use things like Bitcoin wallets that are simple to use, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Now we have gotten to at least have an understanding of how circular economies are operating in Kenya. So allow me cross borders to our neighbors in Tanzania and Uganda. And I will start with Uganda by asking Sabina this question. How do you think circular economies can cross borders without relying on fiat bridges? How do you think economies in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda can work together without fiat bridges?
Hi, everyone. How are you? Perfect. So we all know that Bitcoin is borderless. If there's anyone that says otherwise, please get out. Now that we're all here. Bitcoin is borderless. And with that, what do we mean? A merchant in Kibra can send sats to a merchant in Kampala, in Bujiri, in Arusha. And if someone can send value over the border, I mean, what we have as borders is just maybe trees. There's no wall, by the way, you know? So I think what we have to do is more of these. I love the concept of this conference because then actual builders get to meet and then brainstorm on how to work together. If this panel then sits and talk about how their merchants get to collaborate, I have a person who actually wanted Yummy Tummy from Kibra. So I get to take back Yummy Tummy from someone, and I pay sats to the guy who is in Kibra. So with Bitcoin, we already know that we are limitless because in itself, Bitcoin is borderless. So how do we just increase merchant density and improve the circularity of the spending? So then we'll have achieved that.
Wow. And do you think that, okay, thank you. Do you think that there are already existing opportunities that can push for the sustainabilities of this economy?
I think once again, this conference is one of the opportunities that we have. Getting to meet and just keep brainstorming is one of the opportunities we already have. I love the concept that on the third day of the conference, we get to walk down in the community in Kibra to actually now interact and see and touch and actually spend sats with, at the merchants' shops, getting to understand their story, because this is important at the end of the day, understanding why Bitcoin. And this is what, Robert was talking about at the beginning. Why Bitcoin? Why now? And, it's about seeing and believing that it actually works. The more we do, the more we believe that it is possible. And then, getting back to her point, we eventually keep the value within ourselves. So Mish was talking about how the merchants in Kibra or the people in Kibra now want to actually be Bitcoiners. And I would say it's the same thing happening in Bujiri, because Bitcoin Kampala, funny how it's called Bitcoin Kampala, but the project is deep down in the village in Bujiri. We've managed to touch many people's lives, including a few merchants that exist in the communities. And with that alone, you'll see that their neighbors or their friends now want to be associated with this whole Bitcoin thing, probably because they've understood it well from the person that is already using it. So there are many ways to tackle this, but getting to see and touch and use will then increase the chances of us adopting and using Bitcoin more.
Thank you for that. Just a question to the audience. We do agree that Bitcoin is borderless, right? Yes. Is Bitcoin borderless? Thank you so much. Now let me cross borders to Tanzania and ask Sats, this question. What are the lessons that you have learned from Arusha's grassroots adoption that can be scaled to other East African communities?
Well, I'm Sat Saga from Bitcoin Arusha, and I'm so much honored to represent Tanzania to the Bitcoin Nairobi conference. So coming back to the question from the dear moderator, when we talk about scaling the Bitcoin adoption across East African, we are talking about we have to stop preaching about abstract theories to our community members, and instead we have to touch the really, I mean, the realities of people, or we have to meet, I mean, the realities of we have to meet the realities of people in the community, yeah? And we can do that by maximizing the culture and, um, yeah, and maximizing the culture and localizing the Bitcoin knowledge. And by doing that, we can also like scale the Bitcoin adoption in East Africa. So in Arusha, we have successfully done that through Dance Battle Festival, where we maximize the youth culture, where is the dancers dance and they were being zapped in real time by using the Lightning Network. And also we have managed to solve real-time, the really social problems through Hezur project, where we support the girl students in schools who can't afford the disposable pads, where we provide them with reusable pads that can last up to 3 years. And those pads are being fully funded in Bitcoin. But also we have managed to localize the Bitcoin knowledge, where we teach our community members completely by using Swahili language. As you all know that in Tanzania, most people don't speak English, but some of them like understand. So we have maximized the Swahili language, and we have localized the Bitcoin knowledge, that it has led to create the Bitcoin Hela Swahili podcast that is being led by the homegrown members who have been actively participating in our classes, and that has boosted the adoption in the streets, in the community. And so, yeah, I think what lessons can be learned with other Bitcoin communities is maximizing the youth culture and then localizing the Bitcoin education, but also, last but not least, solving real life community problems. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sats, for that. And perhaps just to ask you a question, what could you paint a picture of how a collaboration between communities in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda would look like?
Wow, that's a great question. And from talking from Arusha perspective, I can say that Arusha is a land of opportunities. And I can say that Arusha is very much blessed to be near the world-class wildlife with world-class national parks such as Serengeti, Ngorongoro, and all these other national parks such as Mount Kilimanjaro. And what we can maximize with all these resources is creating a seamless, easy, economic Bitcoin tourism circuit, which involves both Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda, and all the neighboring countries who can like participate in the circuit. Whereas the journey will be starting in Arusha, where we can like accommodate the tourists who can pay full in Bitcoin. And then after exploring the nature and wildlife in Arusha, and then we can pass the torch to our neighbors here in Kenya, whereas the tourists can, work in the urban active Bitcoin communities, like in Kibera, the Bitcoin Rift Valley, and like spend the Bitcoin and visit the other active Bitcoin communities which are present here in Kenya. And also like the circuit can close in Uganda, where these tourists can use the same Lightning wallet and track the gorillas in Kampala, where we have Bitcoin Kampala and gorilla sites. So by you doing this, it means that the world worth completely bypasses the Lego banks and exploitative bank forex rate exchanges, and the rate flows. The wealth flows directly to our local community members who can like benefit from the such spend from the tourists direct to their wallets. Yeah.
Thank you. So, to the audience, we have painted a picture of how we build a circular economy, maintain a circular economy, the infrastructure, challenges, and possible solutions. Now, to my panelists, I would love to pose this question to you, and in no particular order, feel free to answer. How do we maintain transparency for community projects while still preserving individual user privacy? How do we maintain transparency for community projects while still preserving individual user privacy?
Okay, I think I'll go for that. So what you need from a project or a community is transparency as a whole. So being able to put up the project, maybe on X, on a crowdfund platform, and say this is what the project does. This is what we hope to achieve. The privacy would have is then the individual privacy. I'll give an example. For Bitcoin Kampala, of course, we have a crowd fund that is active, but you've never seen individual profiles of the orphans or the kids, put online because we respect their privacy. So once again, you make the project transparent in terms of what we need, what we hope to spend on, and then put that out to the public. If we are buying beds or if we're buying food this month, put it out that with this how much we receive, this is how much we spend, and then the world will reward you for that. And then the privacy is individual.
Okay.
Hello. For us, privacy, I would say education first. Like for us in Bitcoin Babies, for transparency, we have like a dashboard. So the dashboard is available to everyone in the community. So like if you want to see what's happening in our program, we have the dashboard. It's transparent. You can look what's happening in the community. Also for marketing ourselves, maybe in Twitter. Like for now, we are 25% achieving to fund the next group. So education and putting ourselves out there is helping.
For Bitbiashara, transparency means that we can put ourselves out there and still have some side of us that we don't show, because in as much as we are doing this, we still have a life that we are not able or we are willing to like put it out there. So for us with the merchants, one thing we do, we are doing business and we are adopting Bitcoin, and we are not afraid to do it because adopting Bitcoin is a choice we make. But what we do at the back remains at the back. For sensitizing people to understand what we are doing, we are ready to take on it, because if we say we stay at the back like the people who came before us, there are people who adopted Bitcoin even in our communities. They have been adopting Bitcoin, but they kept quiet. There are people even in the government who adopted Bitcoin, but they kept quiet. They kept quiet because of maybe fear or something, or I don't know. But then again, that is the reason it also took us too long to get into it. So we have chosen to put a side of us out there for others to learn with us, whereas also we have a side that we don't show. So we are trying to do like pseudonymity, but with our face outside there. Thank you.
Yeah, once again, Mitches from Afribit. So for us, I think transparency is what has built Afribit to where it is until now. and trust, because if you've been in Kibra, that's a very kind of very critical community whereby you need to know how you associate with people, how you interact with them, and what you tell them as well, and as well what you educate them. So for us, what has built us is Afribit, I'll say, is transparency and trust. Trust in this way. If Afribit is supposed, like, maybe to do a project in the community that is based on Bitcoin, they'll automatically do it. For instance, maybe we have partners who had promised to do a certain project with Afribit, but in one way or the other, they were not like able to do what they had promised before. Afribit will have to do it, either good or bad. So for us, that is what has built our community, because we are dealing with very difficult people. That one I'll tell you for free. We are dealing with people whereby if you tell them, you as a person, that you are going to do this, then you must do it. Failure to do, you'll start getting all manner of names. I know some Bitcoiners have experienced that. Oh, you are a con man. Oh, nini, blah, 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 blah. They'll give you all manner of names, and you'll do nothing to them simply because for you want them to reach Singapore. Are we together? For you want them to reach Singapore. But maybe for them, Singapore is where they are, like in the moment. They don't see like the bigger picture of it. So for us, transparency and trust is what has built Afribit. In terms of privacy, I'll say, me as a person, let me speak now on myself. I don't have much privacy based on what I normally do in the community, because I was born and bred in Kibra. For now, living there for almost 20 plus years. I'm not that young, I'm kind of old, yeah? Yeah, so that's Mitch. So I don't have much privacy based on my lifestyle or what. I always try as much as I can to put my lifestyle like as an open, so that at the end of the day, if you've seen Mitch, it moved from point A to B, meaning some years back, maybe my life scenario was in a ditch. Now, maybe 5 years later, Mitch is a Bitcoiner, blah, 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 blah. You feel motivated. So I always put my life with not much of restriction. I try as much to put it in a way that is freestyle, so that anybody can just adapt it the way they want to adapt Bitcoin. Tuko pamoja. Are we together? Yes. And there is this one common song that I normally tell our people back in the community. Inasema pesa, pesa, pesa jamani pesa, inaingia, inatoka, ikitoka, inaingia. What am I trying to say? Anytime you have your Satoshis, anytime you have your Bitcoin, you might be a millionaire today, a billionaire, a trillionaire, but it will only last based on how you've planned yourself with it. If you've planned poorly, at the end of the day, everything will vanish. But if you plan like for future, and maybe you want like your generation and generation to benefit from what you were taught when you are still growing, then you have to be a good person who do savings as well, not only spending. Yes, be blessed.
So in Githurai, we in as everyone has said, transparency and trust go hand in hand. And in Githurai, we normally do spending videos at least once in a while or once a week. So then they get posted on X, and I bet that that's how some of you know about Bitcoin Githurai and have seen us there. So when the community trusts you and we have transparency, I bet that's the best and the most important thing in a community. Yeah.
Well, on my side, I can say shortly, if we want to maintain, I mean, privacy and transparency, I think we can practice project level transparency, where the main fundraising account, maybe wallet, can be open and donors and everybody to audit, whereas other personal wallets can be like for everyone for his own use. And also we can, we can maximize the Lightning Network. And I think most of people in this room knows how Lightning Network works. Yeah.
Thank you so much. To my amazing panelists, that was really an insightful conversation. And to wrap up this conversation, I just want you to answer this question. And, as a takeaway, you get to think about it in one sentence only, okay? So at a time like this next year, on the 24th of June, 2027, which milestone do you think your circular economy would have achieved at that particular time?
I think the biggest milestone by 2027 would be having people to live their lives entirely on Bitcoin, not having to change to local currency. For example, when a merchant needs to get their product supplied, they can pay their supplier with Bitcoin or pay their rent with Bitcoin. That would be the biggest milestone by 2027.
Yeah, for us at AfriBit, at our Bitcoin Valley in 2027, we hope to see all shops within that area, like indicates Bitcoin accepted here. Yes.
For Bitbiashara, we hope to have a system in place because we currently have merchants, we have users, we have merchants giving people tasks to do. We have the merchants paying the people for the task inserts, and we have the users spending tasks on the same merchant. So what we hope to achieve is to have a system in place that brings it all together, like a community system that shows this person did this task and was paid in sats. And at the end of the day, we will have, like today, we had this number of sats that went round. And we will have people, even who are not Bitcoiners, want to come in for the task, but stay for the Bitcoin. Thank you.
For Bitcoin babies, next year, our achievement is to have all shops accepting Bitcoin. And also because it's the 4th year, so the first babies in the first cohort will be 4 years. So those babies will know everything Bitcoin. Because for now they are in playgroup, they are in the nursery. So by next year, I'm sure they can be asked about Bitcoin and illustrate what Bitcoin is. So we are empowering the mother, they're empowering the kid through the mother. So at 4 years, the kid knows how to talk, he knows how to understand Bitcoin.
Yes. So I think it might not be a 2027 goal, but I got this random idea once I saw the guys that were performing on stage just before we came on. They were dancers from Kibra, if that was correct, yes? And the amazing thing is, Sastaga in Arusha is running a project where there is a dance battle happening. And then on our end in Kampala, we have a hub. It's called the Satoshi Hub. And what we've done there is we've done dance classes. We've done 2 sessions in a row, last week and then the week before that. This week, we won't be around because of the conference, but what I want to see is a dance battle. Kibra's dancers have impressed me, Mitch. I'm sure I've seen videos of the guys in Arusha as well. Please go on X on Instagram and see our own dance moves on Satoshi Hub, and let's prepare for the dance battle.
Well, on my side, the biggest milestone that by 2027, I would love to see the regional trade happening, whereas a merchant in Arusha can trade direct with a merchant in Nairobi or with a merchant in Kampala, as well as where we can see tourists using the same Lightning network, the same Lightning wallet, can explore 3 countries on Bitcoin fully. And also, we'll have to put the agenda that Afan has said. And so we'll have to think about preparing the Dance Battle Festival, comprising the dancers in Kibera and our dancers in Arusha and the dancers from Satoshi Hub in Uganda. Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, members of the audience, I believe you have heard from individuals who have taken their time and committed to building Bitcoin as a lifestyle and not just any form of cryptocurrency. So thank you. That was our time, and we hope to interact as the conference goes by.
Treasure boy, finger pull up, pull up, finger pull up, finger pull up, finger pull up, finger pull up.